Hi guys. I thought rather than taking a whole bunch of screenshots and putting them in a PDF, the easiest way to show you guys the changes I've made to the breadboard experiment would just be to make a video and throw it up on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to run through the study, but skip a bunch of stuff that you don't need to see. So like instead of 20 rounds, I'll do 2 rounds of the experiment. So I can set that here. I can just say number of rounds 2, but I'll go through everything else and just highlight some of the changes. So let me get this started. I'll just play as one player against 6 bots. So I need to just do this. Log in. Okay. This is the first screen people see. Also, I'm going to move through fairly quickly. So there's a lot of reading, but I guess you can just pause it if you want to read anything and I'm going too fast. Hopefully the video is good enough quality that you can read it all. We'll see, I guess. So this is just the same as before, so I'm just going to go through this pretty fast. When we start the experiment, we'll always tell them what exact time we're going to start it at here. So 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. This will change depending on when we're going to launch the experiment. And when that time comes, our RA will click this button. It will start the experiment. And the next button will appear for the participants. If they don't click it within 1 minute, they'll get dropped. Okay. So giving them a pretty strong warning straight away. We will not pay workers who do not pass the comprehension checks. And as you'll also see that I've moved the comprehension checks so they're not at the end anymore. We still have one at the end, but most of the comprehension checks happen quite quickly. So even if people fail them, and I assume a lot of people still will fail them, they're not going to waste too much time on the study. We're going to get rid of people pretty fast. They need to click this. I understand I will not get paid if I do not correctly answer comprehension checks. Now we just have the consent. This is pretty much the same as before. And then I kind of hit them with that comprehension check straight away. The entire experiment will take 15 to 20 minutes. On the next page, I'm saying on the previous page, how long did we say the experiment would take? So now if they fail this, they're not going to get dropped. But it should just be a wake-up call to people that, look, we're serious, you need to pay attention. This is incorrect. The previous page said 15 to 20 minutes. Please pay close attention to all the instructions. If you answer another comprehension check incorrectly, you will get dropped. So if we get the button mashers, which I assume we will, they'll fail this. If they refuse to read this, it's like, look, we warned you. So informed consent to participate in research. Actually, yeah, okay, I'm going to keep going. Consent form, straight into the instructions. Still going with the instructions. Later in the experiment, you'll perform an investment task. After this, you'll be placed into a red group or a blue group. You'll then take part in an allocation task. So there's another comprehension check coming. So we're going to say these points allocations will be partially based on the investment task and partially decided randomly. Each point is worth 1/5 of 1 cent. Your initial points may be as low as $500, $1, or as high as $2,500, $5. So I think I will change this. I was originally thinking we could go with $1 for the low group, $5 for the high group, but I actually think we can get away with $1 for the low, $4 for the high group, which will save us a lot of money. It'll save Tobin money. It'll give us more room to play around with being able to pay people if there's technical difficulties, stuff like that. So this probably I'm going to change to $500, $1, $2,000, $4. And look, it's gone from, okay, they didn't think it was unequal before enough, and it was just double the wealth. Now it's 4 times the wealth. So, I mean, who knows what that equates to in American society, but it's pretty unequal. And if they want more, we can change it to more, like whatever. But I think we can get away with $1 and $4. Blah blah blah. I'm going to get dropped if I don't move on. So I need to answer this correctly, and this they will get dropped. So if they answer incorrectly here, they'll get dropped. Instructions for allocating points. Now there's another comprehension check, but this one, they don't have to remember anything. They just need to understand this table. And I think this is the kind of thing that will satisfy Stefan. So fill in the blanks. In the example below, if you choose option E, participant 5 will get blank points, participant 3 will get blank points. So they need to basically be able to read this table and say, okay, option E, participant 5 gets 9, participant 3 gets 11. That's the second answer. If they get this wrong, again, they're going to get dropped and replaced by a bot. Okay, every allocation you make this is just some final instructions, take home pay at the end of the experiment. Okay, so now they're in the investment task. Now, I had a lot of trouble coding it to be exactly like Yasmin's task. And I kind of reached out to the inventor of Breadboard for help. He gave me some solutions, but I still, even with the code that he gave me, really couldn't get it to work the way ideally it would work to be exactly like she had it. So I've adapted it a bit. So this is important to kind of pay attention to what I've done here. So like in the manuscript, I'm sort of envisaging, we'll say, we used an adapted version of this task. Here's what we did. And if for some reason the reviewers come back and say, no, you need to do it exactly how Yasmin, Brownie, and Uzi did it, then we can go through that, and I'll try to level up as a coder and figure out how to actually do it, because I'm sure it can be done. But for now, I've gone with a simplified version. So you'll now complete the investment task, blah, blah, blah. You'll make 3 investment choices. In each choice, you'll start with $1,000 of seed money, blah, blah, blah. And basically, they have 3 choices. They decide how much to invest between a choice of 2 companies. Okay, so this is just more instructions for the investment task. I'll let you guys pause and read through it if you want. This is very similar to Yasmin's, but there's just some stuff in Yasmin's task that we don't need. So the stuff that she has related to the rules are based on past players, and you're going to get a chance to change the rules. That stuff was crucial to like dependent variables that she was interested in. It's not important for us. So it does make sense in a lot of ways to simplify her task. Try to make the best decisions possible. Your performance in the investment task will partially determine your points in the allocation task. Obviously, not all participants get this instruction. There's different pages for different conditions. Okay, so this is what the choices between the companies look like. Company A versus Company B. Company A, you get all this. This information is exactly how it was in Yasmin's task, although I've made this look a little bit nicer, I think. This is kind of copying the Google design. If you Google like a stock price, it has it in green with this faded color. Anyway, Company B, and then at the bottom, you have $1,000 seed money to invest between Company A and Company B. How would you like to invest your money? And they can choose between 100% in Company A, 0% in Company B, down to 0% in Company A, 100% in Company B. So they make some choice, they click next. This part I don't like because we're on the next page now, but it doesn't bounce them back up to the top. So I've actually asked the inventor of Breadboard about that. Hopefully I do want to get that sorted out, because it's not even really clear at first, unless you're reading closely, that you've gone onto a new page. So you could easily just get people going, why didn't that work? Click next again. Why didn't it work? Click next again. And now they're totally through the investment task. Okay, this is just a GIF, like to fool them that we're doing something and calculating something. I figured out how to do that. I'm kind of like proud of that. And then they say next. And then basically they're through. As soon as other participants' results are ready, a begin button will appear below. So now I'm basically just... well, this should say begin. I'll fix that. Begin instead of next. Okay, so now we're in the allocation task. You've all seen this. This is, we remind them, this is when we tell them about their points. We show them the points of their team, the other team. We remind them of the justification for the inequality. And then they just start making the allocations. So, begin. I have a in-group, out-group allocation here. Just choose something, and then instead of 20 rounds, I'm just playing 2 rounds, so I'm done already. And this is what they see at the end of the allocation task. Thank you, the allocation task is over. You're nearly done. We show them the point totals again, remind them what their take-home pay is going to be. Before we finish, we need to ask one last comprehension check and a few final questions about yourself. So next, this is when we test if they understood the inequality. everybody should pass this, I would think. They've gone through 20 rounds. They're looking at the scoreboard the whole time. If they don't pass this, even though they've been in the experiment quite a while, yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, they really should pass it. So I had more wealth than the other team, more, less, or equal. There's only 3 choices. Okay, so this is what I've gone with in terms of the just asking about the justification of the inequality. So let me know what you think of this, because we could ask more. We could ask it in a different way. Thank you, that is correct. Just a few more questions to go. First, when you think about the inequality between the blue group and the red group, how justified do you think it was? And they have a slider, 0 to 100. They can choose anything along this scale. And now we're just getting demographics. This is all the same. Seung-hoon built all this. Nationality and SES ladder. Then they go straight to the debriefing. And then they're basically done. They submit the hit, and they're done. So that's how it looks now. Yeah, obviously we can still change it and stuff like that. I just thought this would